What's going on, you beautiful motherfuckers out there? Hope you're all doing well. Wherever you're tuning in from, if it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/RobCedric if you'd like to physically, financially support the show. If you've been with me from the get-go, sending all the love right back to you. It's that time of year once again. We're in the holiday season, bitch. It's the festivities. It's maybe I'll be festive and all the good. Maybe I wish it was Christmas all year round. I wish it was just holidays all year round. But nonetheless, let's good times to be alive and kicking. Wherever you're tuning in from, if it's Canada, mi familia, Wagwan, down south in the United States of the Americas, further down south, Mexico, South America, over there, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, the Austrians, let's not forget you, the Belgians, the Greeks, the Turks, all over the place, and over there in Zimbabwe, over there in Tanzania, over there in Kenya, all around the world. You get it. Let's get right into it, shall we? It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. We're gonna have a loose sesh. Lots to discuss. We're gonna see where it goes. Who knows where we'll go? Let's get right into it, shall we? Let's just start right off the top, baby. Let's just get right into it, shall we? Boys and girls, ladies and gents, if you are out there and you're thinking to yourself, how much of the old, ass slapping should I be doing? How much ass slapping? I'm talking about, you're with your partner, you're with your lover, you're with your girlfriend, your boyfriend. How much ass slapping? How much should you be slapping that booty? Is a big question that's on everybody's minds these days, especially in the holiday season. You're like, how much am I doing enough? Am I not doing enough? Should I be slapping more? How should I slap? How should I, just a little, and how often? With the classics, where, when, why, with whom, how. Basically, it comes down to, you got to build rapport. You got to build a little bit of obviously you have to have a relationship with somebody to be able to slap that ass. It's good that so don't be start right off the bat, no slapping asses of strangers unless you quickly meet up and on the spot you lock eyes and you're like, yes, and then you simultaneously slap each other's ass and you walk away and everybody's still happy. But how do you gauge those moments? That's a tricky one. So be sure to stay with people it's safer that way. Ideally, your lover would be a perfect candidate for you to slap that ass. When can you do it? I say, you know what? The early bird gets the worm. All right? So you're going to start off early, and as soon as you get up, spank, slap that ass right there. Boom. Get one out of the as soon as you start it off. Now you know that the rest of the day will be easy because now you roll out of bed if you're sleeping beside each other together under one roof. Get up, slap that ass, get on with your day. Next time you see them, again, do you slap that ass at around, breakfast once you've taken, you shaved, showered? Do you slap that ass on your way, to breakfast? Maybe, maybe not. Lunchtime comes around. Do you slap that ass? If you're still in the same household for whatever odd reason, maybe you've not left the house, are any of you working out there? That's the main question. Who's paying the bills? But if you're still there, or maybe you're out on the prowl for that dollar bills, y'all on them streets, then slap that ass before she gets in the car or he gets in the car. When else can you slap that ass? Honestly, like midday slap ass is also good. Anytime between 12 to 4 is great. If you are, especially during daylight, they say if you want to get full benefits of the slapping of the ass, 12 to 4 is the ideal because it's not too light outside, it's not too dark either. And it depends on you whether or not you want people to see this or not, but slap that ass nonetheless between 12 to 4. You're like, what about I'm an evening person. I like to, I actually sleep late. We don't even live in the same house. You'll say, and that's fine. That's where the evening, that's when we get out to this. That's that time to play. So you could slap that ass anytime after 4 till midnight. Once again, it's all around 24/7. Really, it all depends on when you want to do it and when they want to receive it. But the more you talk to each other, the more you do it. Scientists have statistically proven that couples that slap that ass a little bit every once in a while have been, growing exponentially stronger in their relations. And that's just the science speaking. That's not me. That's the internet. That's the streets. And that's the best that we've got, all right? Those are the best minds that we collected together. And we said, give us a definition of what it takes to make a relationship go round and round. And it came down to it after years of research that slapping that ass between 4 to 7 times per day will ensure that you'll have a everlasting relationship. Fail to do so and watch your relationship fall apart into smithereens. I guess you're, oh, I'm not an ass slapper. Well then, okay, then we'll see how your relationship works out. But there have been people who've had successful relationships, of course, without any slapping of the ass. There are the anomalies, but nonetheless, if you want to ensure you're succeeding, slap that ass. Ladies and gents, let's get right into it, because it is Friday. Air travel, it is that time of year to do a lot of traveling. Of course, whether you are visiting family, going back home, coming from home, air travel happens to be one of those modes of transportation that gets people along and moving via the air, via just, that's just nature breathing for you. That's just Mother Nature blowing you. But if you want to keep it a little, and I know a lot of us are like, oh, how do I take a little bit more, how do I get a little bit more in charge of my own air travel? How do I get a little bit more, assertive about the whole thing? If I don't want to rely on airplanes, how can I use the air to also have air traveling experience? Which is why I like to say, if we just equip everybody, and I'm talking everyone, with giant parachutes ready to be taken by the wind and just slam you into your next destination, we could have people air traveling all around the world. And I think this way it'll be cost effective. It'll definitely be greener. And I don't even care about being green or not. I personally don't. I want everybody to have a personal jet. But also it wouldn't hurt to be like, you know what, do I want to travel with my jet today, or strap a loose parachute to my back and just have gusty winds just blow me from one side of the city to the other, and I can also get hooked up to some sort. If we just implement this, I'm thinking giant fans, industrialized fans in every city all around the world. If we just get a little bit of wind action, we can actually glide all over the place. There will be all sorts of people from all ages just slamming from one location to the next. Sure, you might get, slammed to the side of a skyscraper or a building, and you'll have to slide down like a couple of birds who were conversing, deep into conversing. Next thing you know, oh, I'm in a window right there. They've really cleaned this one up. Didn't see it. It just looked like the rest of the sky, because they used one of those fancy reflective blue and green glasses that they use on skyscrapers and towers and buildings. Residential, commercial, who cares? It doesn't matter. The bird is dead. What are we even talking about? It doesn't have to be you, of course, because you're bigger than the bird, and the bird is small. That's why it dies. You're bigger. You'll survive. So if we can just all get on board, again, I'm talking loose parachutes. They all have to, of course, it'll be a little bit, you're like, what about the inconvenience factor? What about my sex? Will this interfere with my sex? Nothing says hotter sex than, some guy or some lady just, carrying around a loose parachute waiting to depart. Where do you want a vacation? What's your dream vacation destination? They'll say that. Where would you want to go for the holidays? Doesn't matter. Let's just carry out our parachutes into the wind and say, where do we even want to land, baby? 200 countries in and around the world. Who cares where we land? It's all fun experiences. So say hi to new and improved loose parachutes ready to be taking you all around the world. Again, industrial fans, the industrialized sized fans, I don't know how much money it's gonna cost, but I'm willing to, hey, if we can, print money, let's get a few large sized fans. Sure, might the propellers be large enough and the wind strong? If you're really close by to the fans, might you get sucked into the fan and just, kind of just become like you've gone through a juicer of sorts? Might you get juiced by a giant industrialized sized fan? Yes. But others will see you and not make the same mistake. And hey, if that's what it takes to get a little bit of affordable, convenient, any time of day, any time of night air travel, then I say it's high time that we did it together, ladies and gents. Because yeah, airplanes are fine. And again, I do want jets for everyone, but think about it. Oh, Oh, my baby's running late for school. I wonder if I gotta call, do I get, the car's in the shop. Do I get, just strap a loose parachute to your baby and just toss him in the air, and the rest of it will be taken care of by the wind, man. There you go. Your elderly parents. Oh, I gotta check in on them. How are they gonna come and visit me during the holiday season? If they had those loose parachutes strapped to their back, they could just go outside. Frail elderlies just flying, slamming to your front door. Sure, they might break a couple of bones, but whatevs. A little bit of we need to. If you're not ready to work for it, if you're not ready to feel the pain a little bit, then progress is never going to be made. And I'm willing to I'll say this: if we're not ready to break a couple of bones, then I don't even know what we're doing here. Ladies and gents, it's Friday, of course. Let's have a sip of this. I said we're gonna be all over the place today, baby. All over the place. Skirt, baby. It's snowing outside and it's icy, so be careful out there. But also we're skirting in here, so let's have a sip of this. It's that time of year to think of one another and what it is that unites us, brings us together, and it's community and it's companionship and being with friends and family and doing things in the collective, if you can. Which is why I decided to introduce to the world the all-new improved synchronized shitting app. That's right. A lot of people statistically have been proven to take their shits individually, which is a travesty for, it's extremely sad. It is because it's one of those things that normally people do anyway during the day, but most people do it in isolation. Sad people who shit in isolation by themselves, 5, 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes locked in a bathroom, shitting by themselves, not knowing that they're not alone out there. Well, I'm here to tell you, friend, you're not. You're thinking to yourself, my goodness, what is this? What is happening with me and my body that every day I gotta dispose of doo-doo? And is it just me? You're wondering to yourself, is it just me? Why am I always doing this task alone? Well, you're not alone, friend. Amigo, por favor. You're not alone. Mi amore. That's right. Synchronized shitting app will allow you to locate people near you who are also about to go to the bathroom, so you can sync up and find a bathroom large enough for you all to be able to take simultaneous shits together. No longer will people be going to the bathroom all alone and say, oh, I'm so sad. There's nobody to take a shit around here with. It's got to end. We're heading into a new year. It's a new dawn or something along those lines. It's 2025 is right around the corner. All right? You've seen them, grown men and women crying on their way to the bathroom. I can't find anyone to go to the bathroom with me. It's sad, but it needs to end, and we can end it together. No longer will you be isolated all by yourself and thinking, man, this is horrible. The scent is horrible. You've never had confirmation, have you? Maybe you need somebody else to just be shitting right next to you to say, hey, you're not alone. Maybe you could hold hands underneath the bathroom stall. Let each other know that, hey, we're gonna be out of here in about 5 to 20 minutes. And that's one of the things that I like to do, to be able to remind all of us, and myself included, that it takes all of us to come together in different times and say that you know what? There's more of us out there. There's all of us doing it together, and we don't have to do it alone, and it's beautiful. So I just want to say that, and you're welcome out there. Yeah, this one's on the house, of course. Big giver, innovator, giver, this guy right here. The many apps, businesses, applications that we've introduced to the world, and this is just the beginning. If you thought 2020s with the early 2020s were, you'll wait till 2025 and onward. Ladies and gents, it's Friday, of course, and many things do need improving. Sure, but what are they? How do we narrow them down? How do we find out what is the most important thing to tackle first? And I had a little inner conversation, but I had to look inward. I had to say to myself, what is it that the people want, Rob? What is it? I said that to myself, and I answered back, I think it's deep pockets. People want deep pockets. And I confirmed it with myself once. I'm like, yes, it is deep pockets, isn't it? Because for so long, for how long? Let us ask ourselves, how long have we had regular sized pockets? For the entirety of humanity, pockets have pretty much been the same, hanging around your crotchal region, but going no further, traversing no longer, as if to be discouraged by some sort of silent voice in the background echoing, don't come further down, don't come further down. Why must the pocket end at the crotch? Why must we not have longer pockets that go down to our ankles? Do we not have the technology, ladies and gentlemen? I like to ask the audience, I like to ask the jury, and I like to ask the people, do we not have the technology? Do we not have enough resources to have longer pockets? Why must we stop ourselves? Why must we cut them so short that your cell phone or maybe just a wallet can fit in a pocket? But what if these pockets went down, all the way down to our maybe knees? Let's start there. If we are afraid of going beyond the knees and not yet ready for the ankle, maybe we can just go down to the knees. But I say if we make it to the knees, then let's go down to the ankles. Why not? Let us dream together, shall we? Longer pants with longer pockets. Maybe if the pants stay the same size, that's fine, but you want longer pockets and you got it. You can put anything in these pockets. No longer will you be, there are not going to be any impediments. Oh, I can only fit my keys. I can only fit my cell phone or wallet at times. Or if you're a lady, you're like, oh, this pocket's so tiny, I can barely fit my lipstick in it. These new pockets will go down your ankles. And ladies, let me tell you, you can put your entire makeup kit inside these pockets. What is that sound? Clink, clank, clink, clank. Who's coming? It's Betty with her deep pockets. They'll know you're coming around the corner, Betty. How many times have parents have to leave their kids behind because their hands are full? I gotta run and my hands are full. They'll say that, parents. But what if your hands were free because of deeper pockets? So you can now spend more time with your children. Hey fella, are you a young dad or a young mother? Do you want to be going skateboarding or something to get a little bit of fresh air and maybe do grocery shopping where you're like, I can't do it with this baby. I can't do it, but now you can with deeper pocket, because now you can grocery shop and put all your groceries in your deep pockets and just skateboard with your baby, no helmet, safe, down the hill. Making memories, really spending quality time. So this might just seem like regular. It's just a regular day object. Oh, what are two pockets? There's nothing else to pockets. We've peaked pocket. As if pockets could be peaked. And pockets go way back. I mean, we've come a long way. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because we did start off at a time where, we had no clothing. It was nude people, just, hunters, gatherers at one point. The first pockets were basically, females had the first pockets in the human population. You could say the vagina was also a part-time pocket. That's what females did. Look into the history books. Ultimate gatherers, all the nuts in the puss, and the fellas are like, I can only use my two hands, and the ladies killed it. That's why the men went hunting, because we did not have pockets. Biology, look into it. History, dig deep. But we've come a long way, and I say it's time that we go longer than just the crotchal region pockets. Am I right, everybody? Yes, of course. And I'm only trying to, again, be of service here. You guys asked for it. I just happen to, consider me the middleman. I'm not saying I'm gonna take full credit for long pockets, but fine. If you push me to a corner and just say, like, you know what, take the credit for the long pocket. Did I just change the pocket game? I think we did it together. I don't wanna be, hey. I mean, okay, fine. All right. You're welcome once again. Jeez Louise, you guys. Ladies and gents, what else is going on in and around the world? I'll say this, it's important that we recognize everybody, and everybody's got a difficult path. Everybody's got their challenges, their ups and downs, their trials and tribulations, and some stories get told, others don't. And I like to say that, thankfully, some stories that we might have not had a chance to hear or see have now been shown, which is beautiful. I'd like to make a shout out to CNN, putting the semen in. You know what I'm talking about. A beautiful network for news recently it was depicted that torture lives matter, and we got to see it firsthand on CNN. We got to see it together. Torture lives matter. A beautiful, hardworking former Syrian intelligence worker that used to do torturing in the Assad regime was just freed with the help of with the help of the CNNs. They were freed and interviewed, and it feels good because otherwise we would not have had the chance to see what it's like to be a human torturer. Because you'd hear about these things, you might have, but to see an actual torture like this, it's beautiful. And you think, they might get a little bit of backlash here and there. People who might be so quick to judge, oh, you freed, not only did you interview, you helped free a torturer. And CNN, all right, does not discriminate, does not judge, all right? Do you think it's easy being a torturer out there for you to just jump to conclusions? Do you think it's easy torturing people? All right. Do you think it's easy to sit down in some dark basement in the Middle East and pull nails, maybe potentially, allegedly? Who knows? Well, do you think it's easy to get some sort of car battery and, get some booster cables and maybe wet some nipples and right there to the nips? Do you think it's easy doing that? For you to be all, on your high horse with your torture labels and things. People have families, people have jobs to do and responsibilities to take care of, all right? This beautiful man had not seen, there was a man, all right? A man was free. Sure. Did he give a false name? Sure, he gave a false name. Did he, I don't know, did he lie about how long he's been in prison? He said he was in prison for 3 months. Later, to be fact-checked, it was only about a month or so. Claimed to have not known about what has gone down with the whole collapse of the regime. May have known a little bit, may have had some issues himself. But it doesn't matter. The point is, let's not just judge and point fingers and be like, this man was... Do you know how hard it is to torture and have a lot of heat all the time? Do you know how hot it is? Probably most... I've never been to Syria in my life, but I'm just assuming it's hotter than, it's hotter than some countries. So do you know how it's hard to do torture in any time to do? But if you're sweating and you're wearing a wife beater and your chest hair is collecting beads of sweat and the sweat is going in and then the person in front of you can't stop screaming and is refusing to talk. And you know how hard it is to torture and get forced confessions? Do you know how hard it is to get forced confessions in a place that probably doesn't have air conditioning, that is also really hot? Do you know how hard that is? All right, so quit being all about the tortures and the backlash. All right, CNN is doing great work. All right, this man might be a war criminal, but war criminal lives matters. All right, you need to understand that if we don't together collectively, CNN, if they didn't free this guy, who would have freed this guy? What? And yes, you're like, should you let a war criminal nibble on your shoulder / side tit? If you're not letting a war criminal nibble on your side tit after they've just been torture lives matter. These are human beings. These are human beings too. Sure, the stint might not have been 3 months, a month, maybe a couple of weeks. Who knows? Again, may I remind you of the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Just the heat alone will drive a man or woman to do anything. So before you start, pointing out that they were feeding him and giving him probably water and maybe a shoulder to cry on, let us put our judgmental goggles aside for a second and say that torture lives matter. And thank you, CNN. So yes, some stories are harder than others to find and shine a light on, but together we are doing it. You know how hard it is to snatch up people in the middle of the dark and go torture them at all hours of the evening, in the AMs, while most people are probably asleep? There's no torturing school. You know how hard it is to get into torturing? There's no torture. You can't go like, you know, what, you can't apprentice as a torturer. There's no some like, there's not like old, like, you know, where do you even go? There's no torturing school. It's so difficult. It's all DIY. It's all your own effort and hard work. So before you go out there and, you know, oh, torture and war criminal, how about thanking CNN? Former Facebook content moderators are acting extremely weak. Some of them were outsourced in Kenya. These content moderators are trying to sue Meta and Facebook for the videos and images that they've been exposed to over some time. I don't know how long, all right? But they're going out there and saying that the stuff that they've moderated has traumatized them and given them PTSD and anxiety and depression and maybe led them stray. Who knows? But they're saying this. And listen, if you sign up for the job, okay? If they tell you you're gonna be watching bodies getting dismembered, all right? Then you know what so you can't sue basically by knowing what you're walking into. If they told you it's just gonna be fun videos, if they told you you're gonna be watching one of the largest, most girthiest shows on earth, and you said to yourself, oh my God, am I gonna get a chance to watch Gladyamadeit on YouTube? You thought you were gonna watch this show. Girthy show. But no, you got exposed to some sort of beheading video. And it wasn't just one, all right? It wasn't just two. It was just day in, day out beheading videos. You know you're a content moderator, or, you know, maybe content policing. I don't even know how I feel about it, because yes, you know, you don't want certain videos in terms of like extreme like acts of violence and like, you know, but somebody's got to moderate. You showed up and it said hiring. We're now hiring for content moderators. Regular content just goes on it loads. It just, you know, some shit that's like, you know, horrendous has to be moderated in terms of like, again, beheading videos. Probably don't want those like flying around. Sexual, you know, deviancies with who knows what kind, bestiality videos. We can't have probably bestiality videos. I don't know about, you know, I'm pretty sure it probably doesn't help to have bestiality videos, and we're gonna have to see if most content is not bestiality videos. But you'll be surprised. There's still a lot of bestiality videos out there. It needs to be moderated. And you know what you got yourself into, I think. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. But they say content moderated. Again, you're not just moderating like fun video, you're moderating the shit that we don't want people to, not me personally, I say it's tricky business. It is tricky business. I'm not gonna, you know, but so you can't, if you knew what you were getting into, I don't think there's, you know, what I would recommend is get used to it. If you are a human content moderator, get used to it. Braven up, toughen up at this way. You know, you're like, I don't want to see any more, you know, underage sex. No one does, but you signed up for this job, all right? So you now have to go watch that content. And it's horrible for your psyche, probably. But you could always quit, or you could say, you know, I'm gonna toughen up and watch people get just like, you know, rammed by horses and monkeys. Maybe there's thousands of videos of people trying to fuck monkeys. Maybe there's that, and regular people probably don't want to see that. And we gotta ensure that regular people don't want to see that, and or don't get to see that if they don't want to see it, because it could be anybody. It could be your mom, your innocent family members. Could be just like one day on the internet, next thing you know, beheading video and bestiality videos right there in their face. Do you want them to see? So if you don't want them to see that, you gotta just, I'll give you some, you know, duct tape your eyelids open, so you're like I can't, my eyes are I'm internally bleeding, emotionally, mentally, I can't take it anymore. Duct tape your eyes open and stare at the screen. All right, I don't know how long the shifts are. Eye drops, you want to make sure your retinas are wet, I think. Duct tape. Also, maybe just like, just, I think the more you do something, the more you become, like, it becomes normalized. So do more of it so that it doesn't bother you as much. If it's like fight, what do they say that? They say if you're afraid of something, like face it head on. Like if you are afraid of getting bitten in the genitalia by snakes, let a lot of snakes bite your genitalia. They say that. They say if you are afraid of, if you have an irrational fear of fire, start a fire, walk right in the middle and start burning up until you no longer feel the fear. They say that. So taking that logic, I would say open yourself up to putting in double the time, double the work. And in 6 months, I think you'll be surprised as how far you've come along and how you've conquered your fear and your quote unquote PTSD and depression, anxiety. It most likely will disappear by exposure. I think it's called exposure therapy. Or it might throw you off. It might go either way. You might just like do crazy shit yourself after. I don't know. There's nothing guaranteed in life. So you try it out is all I'm trying to, like, if you knew what you were getting into, I don't think there's grounds to go and sue. But if you didn't know, then maybe we can discuss other possibilities. But I believe you knew because it's content moderation, all right? Content policing, essentially. And like, why do we have to expose people to why can't we have the AIs do it? We don't have the AIs to do it yet. We do, but they're learning. They're learning, all right? And there's a lot of content out there on a daily basis. We still don't have it. We're working on it, not me personally, but the collective we, all right? The collective we is working on AI content moderation. And that is tricky as well. Because once AI takes over, it'll be like, then you worry about, censorship via, because some content might be like, borderline. And if a human were to watch it, it'd be like, no, that's all right. We see where this is going. We see what this is not what it is. But an AI might just be like, no, flagged, zip, get it out of here. Content moderated, content policed. Right there. So, take one for the team, all right? Take one for the team. Get paid as well, of course. Should you be, maybe there should be resources so that they could get help from like psychologists or like, I don't know, therapists or, some sort of social services help or assistant, or maybe just hire social service or some hire psychologists. Because what's the point of these guys getting fucked up by the videos and then going to talk to the psychologists about them? If anyone's getting psychologists, just hire psychologists to watch these videos because they should probably be okay to deal with it. Because then they're gonna have to deal with the people who got fucked up by the videos again. Yeah, moving forward. Don't remove the people who are currently working as content moderators, but put professionals in who can handle it. And like, what about the psychologists and the psychiatrists? What if they get depressed or what if they get anxiety and PTSD? Then have them go speak with another specialist therapist. And it's a whole side. It takes all of us, is all I'm trying. I just saw that. I just don't know if that's increase their wages, make it make everybody get paid a little bit more. We can all agree you will do, I think if the money's good enough, you'll be okay. I think, again, I'm not sure. I'm just saying, watch, let's be strong together. That's what I say to that, ladies and gents. What else is going on in and around the world? A beautiful man in New York was just recently, I believe he got booked. He got, I believe he's, arrested maybe. I don't know, he's being tried or something. I'm not quite, what did he do? This beautiful man happened to be operating a secret Chinese police in New York. There's a secret Chinese police station in New York, as we've heard of these before in parts of North America. We've heard of these. I think so it's a thing, and people are, there's a secret Chinese police, and there's a secret Chinese policeman going around doing dirty secret Chinese police work when they're not in the proper jurisdiction, because North America, Canada, United States is in China, so they're doing police work illegally in China, in the United States, and it's, that's happening, and to that, people have said that China's not getting enough information from us already. That people are saying there should be more secret Chinese police stations and all over the place. They're saying that. People are saying that. People are saying TikTok is not stealing enough information, and they have not, they don't produce enough of our goods and services and technology, and they don't steal enough information. We need more secret Chinese police stations in our cities to be gathering even more data and spying and, eavesdropping on Chinese Americans. But people are also upset probably because they're like, why only spy and police on Chinese Americans or Chinese Canadians or Chinese Australians? Who knows why? People are feeling a little bit left out. I think people are asking for more secret Chinese police stations is what I'm getting from this. And I think people want the secret Chinese police to be low-key, maybe secretly Chinese policing them. Like if you're a New Yorker and you're like, how do I, because it's a thing. Like if you go to like Chinatown, you'd kind of like, you want to, maybe you don't want to personally get like, like run up with like secret Chinese police, but like deep down, if we're looking at ourselves, like you like there to be a possibility of you having a run-in with a secret Chinese, like if there's gonna be some sort of like, just a random like, Chinese knick-knack shop where, wherever, if there's like some like, and like behind it or underneath it, there's like a secret Chinese police station. And if there was a possibility of like people going and like, getting maybe, who knows, maybe getting like, not just their information stolen or like spy, maybe like, maybe they'll bring you in, give you like, here, try this like ginger Chinese, secret Chinese tea, police tea, try this. And you might see a Chinese American getting that treatment. And again, you might feel like you're left out. So I get it. People want to be like, hey, I want to be caught up as a, maybe you might have heard, who knows how far this rabbit hole goes. Chinese Americans might be getting secretly shipped all the way back to China if they're being like dissidents. And you're like, I'm not a dissident or anything, but I would like to experience getting shipped in like a, cargo ship for like, travel the seas or like, and then like come out at the dark and be like, oh, my eyes, the light in my eyes, like telling me, where am I? You're in Beijing. You just got shanghaied. You know what I'm talking about? So it's just like, maybe you want to, maybe you don't want to experience, but you'd like there to be the, like if it's a service that's available in the city, maybe you'd like to be, maybe you'd like to have it be open to everyone. Wouldn't it be fair to have, because this is it's a secret Chinese police working in North America. And again, TikTok is not collecting enough data. There needs to be more secret Chinese police stations. People are saying this. Not enough of our, goods and services and research. You're saying there's not enough foreign investment made by Chinese, potentially government, and they're not buying enough farmlands is what you're saying. They're not buying enough land near military bases, and TikTok's not doing enough. So there needs to be more secret Chinese police stations so that, we all feel at least like it's not just like a few select individuals who get the goods and services. You're saying that, and it's a thing. It's happening. I would love to, I don't want it to ever like, you don't want it to turn sideways or anything, but if I were to like, oh man, go to a seemingly what seems like it's just a Chinese hair and nail salon. Seemingly, maybe I wanted to get my nails done. Maybe I want to go for a mani-pedi, all right, and start conversing with beautiful elderly Chinese ladies. And then next thing you know, maybe I want to be offered some tea. And next thing you know, maybe I want to be in a basement just getting worked up. Maybe I want to, or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't want somebody to like work the midsection and just be like, shining a light. And maybe I don't want, or maybe I'd like to, at least I'd like to know that there's a possibility of excitement, action, and going into, maybe there's, again, just an innocent hair and nail salon, and then underneath that or behind that, an innocent opium den, and then underneath that, an innocent secret Chinese police station, and then underneath that, maybe there's just a tunnel that connects all the way from North America all the way to China. Maybe, just maybe. Can a boy, man, dream? What else is going on in and around the world? A beautiful, speaking of Chinese, it just happened to be in the, you might have seen this, a beautiful Chinese tourist was videoed on a trip to Sri Lanka, hanging off the side of a train because she wanted to make a video or maybe take a few photos for either herself, just for her own for her own joy and enjoyment, and just, you know, for herself, solely for the self, nothing. Or maybe she was doing it for, like, I don't know, maybe she's a content creator of sorts, maybe she just likes to make videos, maybe she just likes to, maybe she has just a little, who knows, it doesn't matter. She's hanging off the side of a train in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. A train was going in Sri Lanka, and this beautiful Chinese tourist was just hanging off the train with her hair and the wind in her hair, and it's beautiful. And then all of a sudden, boom, she gets whacked in the head by some nearby bystander trees, just trees that are in nature. She got knocked in the head, and she fell off the train, and she could have almost died. But guess what? She didn't. She didn't die. And you too can make videos like this or take photos like this. If you are making videos and are taking photos, whether it's for personal or it's for sharing purposes, doesn't matter. If you are not coming close to death each and every time, is it even worth it? Ask yourself, are you really living if you're not getting knocked by a tree and falling off a train, almost getting cut in half and becoming maybe just like a half, you know, maybe like your legs are no good anymore, and like your torso is just left with your head, and you got dents and bruises all over your head, and maybe you're like a little bit veggie right now. If you're not doing that each and every time when it comes to content, then you're not truly living. So where else can people get, you know, motivation and inspiration to do similar things? I say this: if you are traveling in a car, hanging outside the car and videoing yourself or recording yourself or taking photos, if your limbs are not out of the car and you're just taking photos and making videos inside the car, you're not living. If your legs are still in the car while you are taking photos or making video, you are not living. You are not properly doing the full experience. If the sunroof is, or the moonroof, if it's open and you are not 3/4 already out and video recording yourself or taking photos, if you're not driving with your feet while your torso is hanging out the sunroof, you are not recording and living. If you are traveling in a boat or in a yacht and it's going super fast because it's got like a fancy engine, if you're not out there hanging off the side, letting orcas jump over you, under you, if you're not inserting yourself into an orca's mouth, you are not doing life properly. If you are in a hot air balloon and you're like, man, it's so nice to make videos or take pictures, again, for personal or communal purposes inside the hot air balloon or potentially even Zeppelin, you should be hanging out of moving vehicles, and that's the best way to get the best videos. The more of you that is out of the vehicle whilst the vehicle is moving at a fast speed, the more of you that's out there, the better the videos, the higher the quality, the more better, good, with the likes and it's good. So if you're not coming close to death each and every time, essentially you're making a video and or recording, or just, you know, again, for personal or communal purposes, you are wasting everyone's time, all right? This lady could have been dead, but guess what? She's not. She could have ended up like retarded, like fully retarded, all right? But she's not. And guess what? You could do the same thing. So when you see a moving vehicle, say to yourself, hey, why don't we hang outside this thing and just take a couple of photos? If you got a newborn baby and you'd like to share a picture of your newborn baby with the world, if she's not hanging outside the car window while you're on the highway, and if you're taking pictures inside the car, why don't you just stop now? Why don't you stop life altogether now? If you have elderly grandparents and you're moving on the highway and you're not just like grabbing them by the ankle and just tossing them out the side window, letting them just like get caught up in the wind and become, if you're not letting them enjoy their loose, wrinkly skin the way God intended it to be enjoyed, just imagine the wind and all the wrinkles, it fills it out and they just turn into like a, just like a pizza dough, like before it goes in the oven, when you're just like fisting it, because gotta get a twist, you gotta get it to stretch, you gotta knead the dough. And they'll never get to experience that if you keep them confined to the inside of the car. So quit thinking that everything needs to be contained within the parameters. No, the more of you that's outside, the better. What else is going on, ladies and gents? I'll say this, Canadian state of affairs recently, again, this is all of us connecting. There's so many stories in and around the world, bringing all of us together on a daily basis. Canada, mi familia, what's going on in the Canadian context, in the Canadian state of affairs, current state of affairs, Canadian version, the Canucks, the Canucks, Canadians, what's going on? Well, I'll say this. Recently, we just had in our government, I believe the Minister of Finance. That's the person she looks over the finances because she resigned. And it doesn't matter. And what else is going on in the Canadian state of affairs? This is what's going on in the Canadian state of affairs from what I gather from on the streets and the young people are perhaps finding it difficult to get into the housing market. Wages may have not been able to keep up with the rate of inflation for a long time. Old people are probably finding it a little bit challenging to retire or even think about retiring. So these are some of the things that are going on in Canada simultaneously. But we feel as a collective, we feel assured that the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, he's been in office for 9 years. We feel that everything is great and that Canada is on the right path because at the end of the day, we know that Justin Trudeau say what you will, but he is committed to at least two things that I'm sure of. Two things. One, the climate. He's committed to the climate. He cares about the climate, okay? Canada, one of the largest land masses on planet Earth with only 40 million people, barely, not even. And our Prime Minister is, I'll tell you what, if you can't afford to get into housing and you can't essentially start your journey of building equity, which is you find actualizing as a human has been impeded by red lines and bureaucracy, and again, foreign investment and real estate washing. Because if all those things have been going on, if you have foreign investors and coming in who are buying pieces of land, rich foreigners who don't even sometimes live here, buying many lands, developing and then not even residing in them, just you have all these things going on. You can rest assured that our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, who's been in office for 9, he is committed to the weather. Your grandma has to work. She is 97. She is working still. And rest assured, the weather is on the Prime Minister's mind. He cares about the weather and the climate and the carbon. He cares about these things. You are working 4 jobs, barely getting by to feed your family. And the Prime Minister, I'll tell you what, people say many things, but he's dedicated to the weather. And another important thing, which is the most important thing, he is a true through and through, from beginning to end. He's a feminist. To these, and again, you're like, I can't afford to buy groceries anymore. I have to, and to that, you know, have you tried pulling up by the bootstraps? Have you heard of this bootstrap pulling? Have you tried pulling bootstraps? Tightening the old belt notch. These are great things that you could be doing instead of, so yes, you might, you know, be thinking that we might be heading, Canada might be just, we are turning into a, who knows, but it doesn't matter. The Prime Minister is committed to being a true feminist through and through, a proud feminist. And that's one of the most important things. Two things that are very important. You need to be worried about the weather a lot and feminism. These are the truest things that must be held up high, and like, you know, priority first. And we say, some people might say, man, fuck this commie Trudeau. Some people might say that. They might say, oh, fuck communism and socialism, and oh, let's open up the gates so we can all enjoy the free market and get rid of the red lines and build housing that people can afford and give people wages that people can. We could have all that, but you know what we could have? We could also have 9 more years. And people said that because some people said, oh, fuck Trudeau, fuck. Some people said that, legit. But we know deep down inside, even those people saying, fuck Trudeau, resign, you son of a bitch. Some people might be saying, but we know deep down inside that 9 years is not enough. We need another 9 years and even more feminism and climate concerns. More climate and feminism. I don't want anybody leaving their house until we figure this whole climate shit out, all right? If the temperature should change from today until tomorrow, I don't want anybody leaving their homes. I need you to just focus on that and feminism. He has to stay on because he's the only proud, true feminist. In fact, people have been demanding on the down low, people have been demanding, Justin, stay on, chop off your wiener and stay on, full trans Justin. They'll say that. They said some people say that. It's crazy. People are saying we want 9 more years, but be the first trans prime minister. Chop it off. People are saying, it's crazy. People are saying these things, but they want to stay another 9 more years. And you know, and that's Canadian state of affairs. Economically, doing well for everyone. And by that, I mean, if you like skew your definition of like doing well and being able to like afford things in general, then yes, all of it. But rest assured, climate and feminism are deeply embedded with each and every Canadian. Those are the most important things. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Those are the most important things. Ladies and gentlemen, global events, things that are happening in and around the world. It is that time of year because yes, it is Christmas and the holidays are all about giving, caring for one another, sharing in the fruits. Maybe if you like invented a fruit, like maybe you'd have bigger portions of the fruit, but you'd still like to, be able to give out fruit or, whatever, or, what are we talking about right now, ladies and gentlemen? One of the largest Amazon worker strikes has started or taking place in the United States. And it reminds me of, here in Canada, we just had I believe it was the Canada Post workers who went on strike that one ended here in Canada. I think they got sent back to work. Essentially, anytime a group of individuals who are maybe unionized go on strike, from my understanding is that they want better wages and work conditions. And I believe, from not reading too much into it, that Amazonian workers are also wanting probably higher wages and better working conditions. And to that, I say that, you know what? Sure, people could unionize and ask for higher wages. Or honestly, you could just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna be a little bit happy for the head of the pyramid. I'm just gonna be, why can't I just be, people, if you just shift your mindset a little bit and quit asking about I gotta have living wages, standard living wages, I gotta be able to afford that, I gotta feed my, hey, you know what? Why can't you just be happy for Jeff Bezos? Have you seen Jeff Bezos? It's billions of dollars, juiced to the gills with TRT, on yachts, living a high life. Why can't you simply just say that, hey, yes, somebody out there is juicy and is wearing clothing and is on yachts. And it's difficult for multi-billionaires who have companies to live that life if they were to give just a little bit more, because to you it's just it's just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. It's just a little bit more now, and then 5 months later it's just a little bit more, and then and guess what? Who's paying for the yachts? All right. How are we gonna have one person enjoy a large, humongous yacht? Yachts, probably plural. And this is not even about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is a good man. All right, that does nothing but hard work and lots of TRT, all right? Do you know how many needles have to go in his eye to get the ample amounts of TRT to make a man probably his age look like a man of a younger age? Do you know how hard it is to take TRT in the retina, son? Do you know how hard it is? So before you all start saying we want more wages, we want an affordable way of, the living standards, we want, higher pay, working conditions need to be safer, I can't have it, there's so many boxes on my back. Why can't you just be happy that there is one single individual who has, not by himself single-handedly, but there's some major companies in and around, why can't you just be happy for the future, which is basically just drop shipping and just middlemen, just gigging? Why can't you just be happy for the gig economy of the future, which is just the random gigs? Why can't you just do the job until the robots and the artificial intelligence fully takes over? Just be patient for 5 to 10 years, and if you stop asking for a little bit now, a little bit, you will eventually get paid an allowance of sorts, like a universal basic income that is allotted to you by higher echelon individuals, better people than you, people who have ample, of plenty. The movers and shakers of the world will allot you, will give you an allowance of sorts. If you just shut your yap for a little bit and carry the boxes, and again, you're like, what about 2 years from now? Will people have, people, don't worry about it. It will be replaced by robots. Just zip it for a second if you know. So quit asking for safer working environments. If you're not getting injured at the work site, then you're not working properly with the full intention of wanting to be a part of this company, all right? Do you not want to put the uniform on? Do you not want to be part of this company? Do you not want to, it takes, how do you think all of it works? Do you know how hard it is to monopolize all of retail? Do you know how hard it is to monopolize a large portion of retail? Do you know how hard it is to outsource goods and services in other places? Do you know how hard it is to find even cheaper labor? Do you know how hard that is? All right? Do you know how hard it is to get up at whatever time of day and put on a Versace suit or a Versace shirt and, again, inject yourself in the retina with some TRT, all right? So quit being selfish, you greedy workers, greedy workers, man. That's, somebody is killing it in life. Aspire to be more like, figure it out. Be more like Jeff. That's So that's what's going on in and around the world. Greedy workers, and we have the same situation, I believe, in Canada Post here. People went on strike asking for more wages. Figure it out, all right? Create a company, monopolize get a corner, monopolize it, and then just take over. It's A to Z, A to Z. He got everything A to Z, all right? From not sleeping, probably. If you are sleeping, are you sleeping right now? You're like, no, I've not slept in 5 years. Well, quit even thinking about sleeping, and maybe then we can have a discussion of what is going on with So wages are a concern, but at this point I say just simply look at people who have things and say, put it on a vision board and say, yes, one day I too can have $200 billion. And that's it. Everybody should aspire to that. Everybody should. All of us should have trillions of dollars. Each and every one of you should somehow figure a way out, instead of getting together in a union and asking for just livable wages. I think it's much more realistic to just have everyone be a trillionaire or something along those lines. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, it's the holidays. And again, it's this time to share and be together. So I will leave you with saying I'll be back again next week. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a wonderful start to their holidays if they're starting right now, or if you already started, or maybe you're starting in a few days. And again, if you're just joining us today, thank you for joining me. Buckle up as per usual, buckle down. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe on the YouTube channel, and check out patreon.com/RobSadri if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show. Until next week, peace out. Love y'all.